I hope you're doing well tonight. Welcome back to my channel. This is Saturday night, so we're gonna make we call it supper. And I found this recipe. It's called fried chicken biscuits with hot honey butter. The only thing I'm gonna use from this recipe is the hot honey butter. I'm gonna use my own biscuit recipe, and I have a video on my biscuits, but I'm gonna kind of go quickly and show it again. The video's okay, but anyway, I'm gonna actually making the biscuits a little bit bigger, so I thought I would show you the recipe again. And then we're going to fry some thin chicken breast, and I think it's going to be delicious because I know for a fact these biscuits are delicious. And I might add a little bit of frozen grated cheese, but we'll just see as we go. You know how I like to make up things as I go along. So let's get started, and I hope you enjoy the video.
First thing I wanted to show you that on this recipe, I weigh my flour, and we need 10 ounces. Oh, my scale turned off. I have to start over. So I put the bowl on, and then I zero it out, and I want ounces. So we're gonna get this happens to be now. I like Bob's red mill flour. I like King Arthur flour, and I found some White Lily all-purpose flour. This is all-purpose flour, not self-rising. So I wanted to try the biscuits with the White Lily flour. So it just comes out better when you weigh it. And that's for a lot of recipes, baking recipes. These biscuits are so good. I just can't. I wish I could explain to you just how delicious these biscuits are. We could not believe when we made them. And you do not roll these out. And I'll link the other videos if I think about it. We haven't been doing a very good job about linking things. I apologize. Okay, so I just weigh the flour, and the other ingredients, I think my scale needs batteries. I just measure with tablespoons and teaspoons. So let me get my little whisk. I'm not quite prepared as I usually am, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the camera off, and then I have my butter in the freezer. I'm going to cut the amount we need, and we're going to use the pastry cutter to blend the flour. Then I have to get my buttermilk. So recipe. Now you want to preheat your oven to 500 degrees, and then after I think it's 5 minutes. I haven't made these in a while. You turn it down to 450 or 475, but I'll let you know. But it's very important you start at 500 degrees. I like to use Land O'Lakes, and I also like this butter. It's really delicious. And I'm going to use 4 tablespoons, which is a fourth of a cup. I'm going to cut it into 1-inch pieces. You can also do this in a food processor, is probably what I should have done. But sometimes I like to do it by hand. So here is, okay, first we're going to do the dry ingredients. I hope you can see that. I have, let me read my book again. 1 tablespoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of baking soda. And I have, there's the oven, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. So we're just gonna mix this together. You can tell that White Lily flour definitely has a different texture. And probably you should have your butter frozen a little bit longer than mine is. But I just cut it up in little pieces. They're not all the same size. You could do this with your hand. Yeah, my butter's a little soft, so these will come out. So let's hurry up, and I'm gonna cut this in. Now this is gonna be a wet dough, and I'll show you the reason why. And I'm gonna use a 9-inch cake pan to bake these in. So let me do this, and you don't have to watch the whole thing. I'm sure you've seen people do this. But next we're going to add the buttermilk. So you probably should do this before you add the butter. You know, in my last video I kind of messed it up too, but it's not really a mess up. This is some frozen cheese I have. It's going to go in perfect. I just want a little bit, since we're going to eat this with spicy fried chicken. I've never done this before, so this is new. We'll see how it comes out. These bags are so hard to close. I just don't have the patience. But I'm working on it. All right. You want to do this quickly because you don't want your butter to get soft. And you could add more cheese if you like, different kind of cheese. You could probably add green onions, all kind of things. But I didn't want to change the recipe too much, because knowing me, I'll mess the whole thing up. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna make sure you get all the butter off your pastry cutter, and that butter is, it's pricey, but it is a very good butter, but I only buy it for special recipes. All right, now this is 1.5 cups of low-fat buttermilk. They actually say that low-fat buttermilk is the best for this recipe, but I like whole buttermilk too. I've used both. So we're gonna stir this. And it's gonna be a wet dough, but I'll show you how we're gonna work with it. So I'm just gonna mix it in. It's gonna be a little messy. This recipe is a little bit messy, but not too bad. See, I want you to see, it's pretty wet. And it's not all mixed in yet, but. And I love these glass bowls. They're amazing. Okay. Yeah, that's wet. Brad, is it wet as it usually is?
It looks right.
Okay. Now, let me set up my next station. I got the best thing I can get. There's the dough, and this is a 1 cup of flour in a pan, and this is the pan I'm going to bake it in. And I always put it on another baking sheet. And the recipe calls for using a 1/4 of a cup measure, because you're going to scoop the dough out. But I'm going to use a 1/3 of a cup, because I want the biscuits to be just a little larger, because we're going to make chicken sandwiches out of them. So this is sprayed with vegetable spray, or not, cooking spray. And you just take some of the dough, and like I said, it's very sticky. And you probably want to put a little flour in your hands. And you kind of dump it in the flour mixture. And pat it a little bit. And in the flour, so it's not as sticky. And then you just shape it, and you put it into the pan. And I should be working a little bit quicker, because my dough's probably getting too warm. But that's okay. We'll see how these come out. Just like this, so you can see. And just dump it. You might have to spray your cup more than once. And then just sprinkle a little flour on it. Roll it around a little bit. And then just put it in your pan. And I'll continue doing this, and I'll show you when we put it in the oven. I'm going to brush the tops with butter. We like a lot of butter. And the butter gives it a crispy and golden top. So you definitely don't want to skip this step. You probably could brush them with buttermilk, but I find they really recommend butter for this recipe. And don't worry about the flour on the biscuits, a little bit extra flour, it's okay. You just brush the butter over it. And the first thing, I'll have to read my instructions once again, but I believe you put it in at 500 for 5 minutes, and then you lower your temperature. So I'm almost done. I like a lot of butter. I might be putting too much butter, but I don't want to waste this butter. It's so good. Okay, that looks pretty good. I like to make sure they're very well coated. All right, so I'm going to put them in the oven. I'm going to put them on the middle rack and set my timer for, let's see, yeah, 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, we're going to reduce it to 450, and we're going to continue baking them about 15 more minutes. So we'll be back after we take them out of the oven. Hey! My food processor out. I'm going to try something different this time. I'm addicted to these, not addicted, but, well, I'm kind of addicted to these hot fries. And I was thinking if I grind these up and put them in my flour and breadcrumb mixture, it's going to make it even spicier. because I want a spicy chicken. And this is the chicken. Now, I can't show you how thin they are because I get my hands dirty, but they're thin and they've been soaking in buttermilk, Cajun seasoning, and quite a bit of hot sauce. So it's going to make them a little moister, more tender, and a little spicy. So I'm going to put these in here. These are so good with that jalapeno dip, sour cream dip that I showed y'all the other day, that I put in those potato casserole. That's what I like the best. The spicier, the better. I've never done this before, so this is totally a test. But you know, I always do that on my videos. I hope you guys don't mind. Sometimes I just make it up as I go along. It's fun that way. Alright, I want to just put the whole bag in here, because there's not many left. Let's just pour it in there. It's kind of messy. Let me see what it does. And this is a little KitchenAid food processor. It's pretty nice. I have a Cuisinart too, and they're both good. So this is, I forgot, what does that say? Pulse? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Oh, not right. There we go. You want them pretty fine. I hope you can see that. Let's check them. Oh, that's perfect. Can you see that? That's going to be awesome. Oh, yeah. It's a fine powder. I'm so excited. Hope they turn out well. And if the biscuits don't come out, we'll just eat it on bread. For a little bit. You don't really have to measure this. Just kind of measure it to your taste. But this time, I think I'm going to try a little flour mixed in here. And I think you could put panko breadcrumbs. I'm going to skip them today, I think. I'm going to do a little bit of breadcrumbs. And we're going to mix this and see the texture. Maybe a little whisk. And the chicken will not take long. I bought some thin cut breast. That looks okay. I'm also going to add just a tiny bit of seasoning because the chips have salt in them and they have pepper. Maybe, I think I'm going to have to add just a little bit more flour. We have a few pieces of chicken to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit of Cajun seasoning. Not much. Because these are going to be called Cajun something biscuits. I'm not sure yet. Sometimes coming up with a title is difficult for me. All right. So the biscuits are doing okay. We're gonna get we're not gonna do the egg, flour, then this. We're just gonna dip this, from the buttermilk, straight to the oil. And hopefully this will be a good breading. We don't want the breading too thick. That looks great. Look at that color. Okay, chicken. And you want it to be a little bit closer to room temperature. You don't want it to be ice cold. Here's our breading. And we're only using this amount of oil. That's about an inch, I think. And it's canola oil. And then we have our rack to set it on right here. To about 350. We breaded 4 of the little chicken breasts. And we fried them. And the temperature is about 350. They won't take long because they're pretty thin. Now let me show you the biscuits. I brushed them with butter once again, and I think they came out pretty good. They're not as, well, this one's round, but they're delicious. You have to try this recipe, and watch my old video too. It's really good as well. Not that I'm not trying to brag. I'm just my biscuits are really good. The chicken didn't take too long to fry. We had a little trouble with the temperature, but we got it straight. So let me show you the biscuit. They're really pretty. They're not as round, but they're just perfect. Now you could make, the reason I saw this recipe, you're gonna laugh, is because they had a honey butter hot sauce that you put on the biscuit. But I find that the biscuits and the chicken are gonna be rich enough for me that I think I'm gonna eat it plain. I just wanted to tell you about the hot sauce and the honey and the butter in case you wanted to try it. So let me make my sandwich and we'll taste test time. And we thought we were filming, so that's why there's a bite missing. So we're doing this again because it's so good. So here we go.
I love this. This is way better than Chick-fil-A. And I like it just plain like this. And your extra biscuits you could eat for breakfast. But anyway, I'm sorry I'm talking so much, but you have to try this recipe. It's really good and it's fairly easy. And if you enjoy these type of videos and recipes, and me, please subscribe, share, like, comment, and what else am I supposed to say? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.